Okay. Fine. Okay. Right. So, what we're talking about is different ways to sell online, because there is a fit for everybody somewhere along the line of selling online. It doesn't have to be Facebook. It doesn't have to be Instagram. It's whatever you're comfortable with. And Jeff has very kindly shared, I will ask him to share his story again at the end for the recording, but he has shared selling on WhatsApp groups. We have Mary in our team with us tonight. Mary does sell on Facebook, but she also does things in her community for her friends and everything like that, and sees opportunities in that for herself. And maybe if Mary's comfortable having a wee word about that at the end, some of the things that she's done over the last couple of years to increase traffic to her group in Facebook, which is, at the end of the day, that is your permanent customer base. But there's lots and lots of ways of generating traffic to your Facebook group that don't always involve Facebook. So 4 years ago, when Clean Easy stopped trading, we all wanted to keep our selling groups going while we waited for Michael to start another company that we knew that he would do. Jane and I, while Lynn was away, working to try and find another outlet for the business to start operating again, Jane and I kept the team Zooms going for several months. Enjoyed doing it, but we wanted to have something that we could teach people to find, to sell, to keep their groups going, to keep their interests going, and to make themselves some money as well. And one of the things that I did was I went and got some small job lots of things like jewellery and makeup and things like that on eBay and places like that. And I then looked for outlets to sell some of that stuff on, make a little profit, and bring people to my Facebook group, because I knew that the Facebook group was going to be the future of my online retailer. I didn't want anything to happen to that. I wanted to keep it going while we couldn't sell Clean Easy products on it. So one of the sites that I found when I was doing that to look for different things to sell and everything was a site called Vinted, which at the time was very limited to second-hand clothes, shoes, accessories, jewellery, that kind of thing. And I actually bought some second-hand jewellery on eBay, and I split it into smaller lots and I sold it in Vinted, and I had some success with that. I really quite enjoyed it, and it taught me a lot about different marketplaces and everything like that. But at the time, as I say, it was very limited to just those products really, and it wasn't even what they would have called products, because they don't encourage businesses to advertise. It's really for people that are selling stuff that they already have in the house. So 4 years down the line, I decided to have another look at it, because they're now advertising extensively on TV, and they're talking about different things you can sell now, including books and things like that. Hold on, somebody's in the waiting room. Can't see who it is. So you can now sell books and household textiles and bedding and towels and different things like that on Vinted as well. And I thought this might be worth another visit. So they've relaunched their site completely. So they're extensively advertising on TV. And one of the really, really good things about Vinted is that the seller doesn't pay any fees to Vinted. It's completely free for sellers. It's the buyer who pays a fee to Vinted once they've completed a sale. And they also send you a postage label that they pay for. So you don't pay postage either. You get the money for your item, and the beauty of it is that they will send you a postage label. You've told them roughly the size of the parcel, or the weight of the parcel, and all you do is parcel it up, put the label on it, and send it off, usually by Hermes or the post office. Okay, so I had a little look, and Vinted are they have a very clear set of instructions. When you join, they will email you with a full set of instructions, how to post, what you're allowed to post, what you're not allowed to post. And one of the first things I found out was that you're not allowed to post anything with a stock picture on it. So always use your own photograph, or, if you're in the team photo groups and everything like that, where we all post our own photographs of different things, use those, because that's what they're there for. So don't ever use a stock picture, because your post will be taken down. Okay. So what I decided to do was, because I had bought a couple of the Viva MK mystery boxes, which I think were something like £20, but they had £100 worth of stock in them. But all of those had things in them like towels and bedding sets, etc., etc. And some of that, quite a lot of that, actually is allowed on Vinted as long as you take your own photo of it. So I did start. I posted half a dozen duvet sets. I think I had my first sale within a day. The next thing I found out was that people will come up to you and say, would you accept whatever? So they're going to make you an offer on that price. Okay. So as long as it's things from the mystery boxes, which obviously we've paid a very reduced price for, and we have the product at home, I am selling single duvet sets at £10, double duvet sets at £15, and king size duvet sets at £20. Sometimes, but usually I'll put a couple of pounds on that when I'm posting them, so that if somebody comes to me and says, will you sell this for £20 or something, I've already built that into my price when I've posted the product, so I can negotiate a little bit with them to give them even more of a bargain than they would otherwise get. And they complete the sale. They send the money to Vinted. Vinted send a postage label that the buyer has paid for. We send the goods off, and we are paid as soon as the product is received by the buyer. So if the buyer usually tells Vinted that the product has arrived, but if they don't within a certain time period, Vinted assume the product has arrived because they haven't reported an issue with it, and you'll get paid into your Vinted account. You can transfer the money to your bank account. Okay. So it sounds a bit more complicated than it actually is. It is very, very easy to do. And I think in the last 3 weeks, I think I've sold about £250 worth of products.
Wow.
It's actually, I'm really quite pleased. I've sold bundles of towels, I've sold duvet sets, I've sold some of the little wall plaques, the Serenity wall plaques. You're allowed to sell picture frames, but not pictures for some reason. You're allowed to sell jewellery, makeup, obviously accessories and everything like that. You're allowed to sell candles, but there are certain things that you're not allowed to sell, and it's a bit of trial and error. Okay, so one of the disadvantages is that really the easiest way to do it is with stuff that you have in the house. Okay, so I've got products from mystery boxes, and that's what I'm concentrating on at the moment. But they do allow you 5 days to send off your product once it's sold. So if you're sending an order in the next day, somebody buys something on Vinted, you add it to your order, get it sent to you, and post it off to them. Alternatively, you can negotiate a price where you are paying the postage, in which case you could send the product as a drop ship from Viva. But in general, the assumption is that the buyer pays postage, they send you a printed label, and you send it off. Okay, so that there's ways around everything if you think about it, if you have a think about how you want to work it. But if you start initially practicing with things that you have in the house, even stuff of your own, if you've got a pair of shoes you don't wear anymore or whatever, start with that. Okay. Vinted they don't really want to be targeting a business market. They want to have a community of people that talk to each other and often buy from each other. You can post, if you were posting your old clothes, etc., you can set up a wardrobe where that your buyers will know what your style is. They'll know. You'll maybe have a parameter set for if you were looking to buy stuff. You would maybe put your shoe size in, your clothes size in, that kind of thing. It's designed as a sort of friendly community. It is very friendly. It works on a feedback basis as well, and Vinted will intervene if there's any issues at all. What else was I going to say about it? The slight disadvantage is that it takes a couple of days to get paid, but it is a very safe system because you send the goods off. The tracking label that Vinted sends you is already logged on their system, so they know when you've sent it. They've got all the tracking there. You've also got a tracking receipt when you take it to the parcel shop. I usually send my buyer my proof of sending the goods, and it's a nice conversation. Usually it works on a feedback basis as well, so when they get their stuff, they'll send you positive feedback and you can send feedback for them. Okay, so that's the only disadvantage, is it takes you a couple of extra days to get paid, but it is another way of selling products. And despite the fact that Vinted don't particularly like you to promote yourself as a business, therefore I don't send catalogues. I'm a great advocate of sending catalogues with a dropship, as you know, and I always do it. And it was me that nagged Michael for 5 years to get that facility. But for Vinted purposes, I don't do that. But what I do is put one of my online shop flyers in with the parcel. I stick it to the duvet set or whatever it is. And on the back of it, I'll just write, thanks very much for your order, Margaret, and send that off to them. And I've had people join in my group once they've received that item from me, because we've had nice conversations and they get to know me a little bit, and they'll join my Facebook group and send me a friend request on Facebook as well. So it's just another string to the bow, really. It's just another way of being aware that there's other marketplaces other than Facebook to sell on.
What about prices, Kate? Sorry.
Prices, well, because obviously I'm selling stuff that I've had in mystery boxes, I'm not selling them at the full retail price. No. And generally people will try and come and ask. So the next thing I'm going to do actually is I ordered a makeup mystery box, a new one. And I'm going to split that down into maybe 2 or 3 nail polishes or a couple of lipsticks or something and sell that. And as long as I'm making more than I've spent to buy the mystery box, I'm still in profit and I'm still getting new customers and I'm still getting the potential for more people to join my group. And again, that's items I've got here. So one of the parcels I got had 2 of those double-ended eyeliners and a liquid eyeliner. So what I might do is sell that as an eyeliner bundle. There was 2 nail polishes in it. There was a neon and a chrome. So I'll do that as 2 nail polishes, maybe put in a nail, one of the new buffers, or some kind of manicure tool or something in with that, and sell that as a bundle, as a gift set, because people buy these sort of things for presents as well. So
now, the other thing I'm thinking of is presumably you weigh those before. So
you don't have to actually weigh them, because Vinted do all that for you. So when you post a product, you have to give a brief description of the product, as many photos as you like of it, as long as they're your own photos, they're not stock pictures. It'll ask you if you would be posting it in a small parcel, a medium parcel, or a large parcel, and they define what that is. So a small parcel would be small toiletry items, or maybe a pair of shoes, a pair of flat shoes. A medium parcel might be a dress or a jacket, and a large parcel would be maybe a pair of boots or something like that. So it's quite arbitrary, really. It's not a precise science, but they choose it for you.
Okay.
So if I was selling makeup, it would obviously be a small parcel. I would pad that really well, put it in a jiffy bag, etc. If it was a duvet set, I usually choose medium parcel for that. And I did sell a towel from my mystery boxes. I did sell a 6-piece towel bale with an additional pair of bath sheets, and I put that down as a large parcel. So the buyer pays for all that, and the label that they send you covers the cost of that, because obviously, they must know that a small parcel's maybe up to 1 kilogram and a medium parcel's up to 2 kilograms and stuff. So it's just, when you're selling your item, you're specifying what size of parcel you would expect the buyer to.
So you're going to gauge roughly what it will cost them. So that takes a lot of the hassle out of it for the seller as well. Very
hassle-free, very, very hassle-free.
So mystery boxes, folks, it does sound as though really that's one way, if you have mystery boxes and additional products.
Yep.
Or even products that maybe, for example, you've ordered, you maybe haven't been able to sell online. But to get rid of them, if even if it's, if you're not making anything out of it, let's face it, if you've had it for 6 months, if you're going to get your money back, it's better than sitting in your house.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Winking at you every time you walk past and making you feel inadequate.
There is a lady in our team who unfortunately had to leave the business recently due to ill health and a bereavement, and she ordered some products from me, and when I went to deliver them, she said, would you be able to sell these for me? And she gave me 3 duvet sets that she'd had that, you know, that maybe the customer had changed their mind or something like that about them a while ago. And I said, yep, just leave it with me. And I sold all 3 of them and Vinted within a week.
There you go.
Wow.
Two king size and a double duvet set. And I did tell her, you know, I won't get
Full
you know,
price.
we could even sell them at distributor cost if we wanted to. I sold them a little bit less to get rid of them for her, and I did that, and I just sent her the money by PayPal. So
that's excellent. And
it's,
what
you know,
about
it's
the photographs of duvet covers then?
yeah.
Kate,
If you've got
unwrapping them.
no. Take a picture of it in its packaging. I'm selling it as
Okay.
for some items they will allow you to sell used items, but for things like bedding and towels and stuff, the only option is new in packaging kind of thing. But you're taking a picture of your duvet set in the packaging, it's still your photograph. It's not, you know, it's not the stock photograph kind of thing. It's a picture of you holding it kind of thing, as it were, you know, holding it up to the wall, or, you know, just for background and stuff. So
Any questions, folks?
yep, ask away. Hello, Joe. Are you waving? Have you got a question?
No, thumbs up. Thumbs up, because we've got, I'm just looking at them now, the contents of, there's 2.5 mystery boxes, most of looking at me here because I've been struggling to shift it on Facebook. I've had a cancellation on the day job tomorrow afternoon, so I will be playing with Vinted.
Yep. What have you got? Tell me what you've got.
How do you join?
Oh, I've got 3 bedding sets. I've got a bath mat and toilet mat.
Yep.
Or a Creed candle. There's all sorts in there.
Well, I've got
just exactly what you've just been talking about, isn't it?
Yep, I have no problem selling the king size duvet sets. I post them at £22, but I usually sell them at 20.
Yeah.
The singles I put them on at 12. I sell them at 10, and the double ones I put them on at 16 and sell them at 15 usually. And I have no problem with that.
I think it's 3
You
kings I've got actually was what I ended up with.
Yeah, you don't happen to have a single tiger, do you?
No, I've no single. I ended up with kings.
I need
every
a single
time.
tiger.
3 boxes and ended up with king duvet sets every time. 3 of the same flaming one.
How about joining then? How easy is it to join?
Very simple. I think that they're heavily advertising. I'm sure it's just vinted.co.uk. You give yourself a username. I had already named my profile Kate's Bargains Online, and then realised, and I couldn't change it, but I realised that probably I should just have called myself Kate rather than, you know, because, as I say, they're not looking for people to sell as businesses, but I didn't realise that till I'd set it up. So just, you know, give yourself a nickname or something, but don't make it too businessy. They'll ask you for it's very basic stuff. I mean, when you sell something, the money initially goes into your Vinted balance, and you can use that balance as a currency to buy stuff on the site if you want. But if you don't, you just transfer it to your own bank account. So that's the point where you would give them your bank details, but they're not taking any money from you because it's completely free for sellers. So no money changes hands from you to them unless you buy something on their site.
Good. Any other?
Yeah, Kate mentioned about the money comes a couple of days later, but that's just the same using a credit card machine. It is not instant, is it?
No, it's not. The reason being that Vinted hold the money safely as a kind of escrow thing until the buyer has got their is to protect the buyer and the seller, really. They say that they'll pay you within 5 days, but it's never been as much as that for me. It's usually 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And because it's by and large it's stuff that I've got here anyway.
Yeah.
You know, it's, you know, you would need to use your imagination a bit if you were going to drop ship to the customer, because the other thing you can do is you can, when you set up your sale, you can say that you're going to offer free postage for the buyer, and that means that you're handling the postage. So if you were doing that, you would just add the £3.95 or whatever it is onto your price, and just bear that in mind if you were asked to knock the price down, because in that event they're not then sending you a postage label and you can then drop ship the item.
Yeah.
And also
I haven't done that on Vinted.
Quite big, aren't they?
Yeah, I haven't done that in Vinted yet, but you can. So
Yeah, some of the boxes coming out the warehouse are quite big, aren't they?
Yeah.
Even though what's in it, you can just see it being larger than a large parcel and causing problems, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So no, but you
can't.
But you couldn't do that anyway, Joe, because if the buyer is paying you for a label, you can't then send that label to Kirsty and ask her to ship it out for you, because that would complicate things. So you could, but if you wanted to drop ship something, I haven't tried it, but I think I will make a point of trying it.
Yeah.
Because I like a challenge. But what you would do then is just set your postage for that item to free. Just add the £3.95 or whatever. If it was a king size duvet, set your price, add your £3.95 on, call it free postage, the way you would do on eBay. And then when you get the sale, you just ship it out directly from Viva.
Yeah.
As a drop ship. There is a facility to do that. But I haven't done it yet because I've just been experimenting with things.
Because I'm just struggling with Facebook in general at the minute. It's so slow. I'm not getting notifications. I'm having to mess about with my settings all the time. And we've tried, and we never did a great deal with the group anyway. But it's just ground to a halt. People just aren't biting. They're liking it. But nobody's saying they'll take stuff off us. So another arrow to the bow, as it were. Yeah. I like that idea, Kate. Thank you.
Yep, you're very welcome. And if anybody tries it, we'd love your feedback from it, because just look very carefully at what you are allowed to sell, because I tried from last year's mystery boxes, I still had a couple of tea cozies and a couple of sets of tea towels. And I looked to see if tea cozies were on there, and there were tea cozies on there, but I sold it. I put it up with a set of matching tea towels, and it didn't like that, and it took it off. So it looks as if I can sell towel bales. Towel bales are fine. Bath sheets are fine. Towel sets are fine, but I don't think it likes tea towels for some reason. So I'll try and put the tea cozy up on its own.
When maybe a different description, Kate, maybe kitchen towels. But if I can interrupt for a minute, Angela's on and she's got her hand up.
Oh, hi, Angela.
Hi.
Hello.
Thanks for letting me in.
Hi there, sorry about that.
No, that's all right. I was a bit late because I've forgotten.
Oh, you're fine.
If you send them by dropship and people are receiving the items in Aviva MK packaging, does that mean that they could then report us as operating a
business? Well, that's really one of the reasons I haven't done it yet. You're right. You're absolutely right, because it doesn't seem to be an issue with eBay or anything like that, but I haven't tried it. But I mean, at the end of the day, if people are getting an item that they want in a decent time span with
at the price
as described, and they're happy with it and everything, the price, I would imagine they wouldn't report you, but there's always one person, isn't there? So
yeah,
you're absolutely right. Yeah.
There's always one.
I think with the mystery boxes, that's a great time to try, because as Kate says, it's in your house, you've got it, you don't even have to think, because I know that for me to send items that I have at home, which means, and I'm a bit lazy, sorry folks, but I then have to take it to the post office. I have to get it weighed, and I have to figure out how I'm going to do this, that, and the other. Whereas if they're just asking you, what size is it? I'm telling you roughly how to make it. I mean,
you don't need to tell them it's 28 by 14 by 9 centimetres at all. You just say, medium box.
So I do.
Yep.
I do.
What would you call sort of a king size bedding? Have you called it a medium or a large?
I would probably still call it medium, to be honest. You could call it large, but one of the issues is that for the buyer is paying for the postage, but they're also paying vintage fees as well. So they're not wanting to get something that in their view would be a medium parcel, and they've paid for a large parcel. Do you know what I mean? So, but the descriptions of the size of packaging is all kind of explained for you. I usually send all the duvets as a medium parcel, but if it's a towel bale, which is heavier, towel bale and a set of bath sheets or something like that, then I would make that large, obviously. because that's going to be probably about 2.5 kilos. But the sizing, when you start doing it itemizes all the different, you know, there's places on the site to go and look and get help with your packaging.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Right, Jeff, do you want to jump in here if there's no other questions or comments about Vinted? Maybe Jeff wants to jump in and tell the follow-up again.
Yep.
Okay. I think last week I was saying that I've got one of these Platinum Jubilee slates that Charlotte had designed, and I designed my own with my own street on it. And I've been advertising it locally. Now we've got a WhatsApp group for our street. We're a cul-de-sac. We're almost a little village, and we're having a Jubilee celebration. So I put on our street's WhatsApp group, who would like a slate memento of the Queen's Jubilee. Now, I'd also put it on the Facebook group of the street parallel to us. And I've had 2 people in our street come back straight away. One saw it in the Facebook group, one saw it in our WhatsApp group, and they both wanted one. And I'm doing them at £10 instead of 11, saying I'm giving them a 10% discount. I know it's not quite £10, Jane. You don't have to correct me on that.
It's quite all right.
But they don't know, Jeff.
We're not going to split hairs.
No.
Yeah. So I didn't want to deal in the 10p. I just wanted the straight £10. So I'm putting another order in. So I put back in the WhatsApp group, I'm putting an order in. Would anybody else like one of these? And I put the picture of the one with the Glencoe Street on. I'd given the choice of 2 before. And I've had 3 more people come back and say, yes, I'll have one, please, Jeff. The last one was most satisfying because during lockdown, I'd put my catalogue round and I'd got a few people looking at the catalogues, and 1 or 2 may have bought something, but they weren't big buyers, but I were giving them out in the street. The last one said to me when she gave back the catalogue, there's nothing in there that I want to buy. Until she saw it on a WhatsApp group, she said, I'll have one of those, please. Yes, very satisfying.
Fantastic. It's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So really, Jeff's story there is think a wee bit outside the box.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's fair to say it's not that we're not patriotic in Scotland. However, I think in England there will probably be more street parties than there will be in Scotland.
Yep.
I would definitely say that's a huge seller in England.
Absolutely.
Huge.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and find ways. Sorry to interrupt you. I'm going to try and find ways of other street parties in Hull, because in order to close the road, you had to apply to the council by last Sunday, the 24th. Now I'm going to search for other street parties, and then I can go to them and say, would you like one of these with your street on?
Now, how to find it, Jeff? Google it.
Yeah.
How do I find out which streets are having a street party?
Yeah, I think Nextdoor put it up if people are bothered, but I'm hoping that on the council website they will tell you where the restrictions are.
Yeah, because they're closing the roads, so people can't drive down the roads. So they should really notify people what roads they can't drive down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So if I can look in there, I might be able to. There's another road about 5 minutes walk from us, also a cul-de-sac. And at Christmas, they fill the whole street with lights. It's really quite a show. And I can imagine that they will have a street party there. And there's another place I know. So if you know of small communities like that where they do that kind of thing, it may be worth going there and finding it.
Ask your catalogue customers as well, Jeff.
Yeah,
know of any.
I was going to say, go back to the old catalogue distribution.
Yeah.
Knock on the door and say, excuse me, I know it's a bit unusual, but are you having a street party?
Yeah.
I live, and do it as a local.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great idea. My customer base is quite new, and I don't know whether they'll be having that kind of thing. But yeah, what harm can it do to ask you? Absolutely right,
Absolutely.
Jane.
Right.
Yep,
That's right.
definitely.
Especially when you've gone to the bother of,
Yeah,
you know, designing something.
yeah,
Then yeah,
yeah,
go for it.
Mhm.
yeah.
Yep.
Good.
Yeah.
And on that note, Joanne, if any of your duvet sets from your mystery boxes are Union Jack duvet sets, get them
Yes.
unvented immediately, because that's where I sold mine as well.
Yeah.
Unfortunately not. I didn't get one of those.
I get it. That was something that was quite difficult for us in Scotland.
Yeah.
There's a bit of, you know, rivalry, whether you know or not, between Celtic and Rangers. And Rangers fans were happy to buy Union Jacks.
Yep.
But Celtic fans, unfortunately,
If Celtic fans saw you advertising
quite
such a product on
derogatory.
Facebook, they would report.
yes, they could be quite derogatory.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
had to be very careful. So it just lets you see the differences
Yeah.
Yep.
between, you know, but there again, I bet you, if Kate tells you what her best sellers are, I bet you a pound to a penny, they're not mine, and they
Probably not.
probably aren't yours either.
Yeah, they're different
So,
for everybody.
You know, we are all different.
Yeah.
We are all different.
Yeah.
I mean, I sometimes see things coming up on the official group saying, "Oh, one of my best sellers."
I'll tell you what I'll tell you.
Order for it.
I would tell you, Jane, that normally what you've said is quite correct. However, I'm pretty certain that my last week's bestseller will be exactly the same as all you guys. Bunion protectors and toe protectors. Because we had them in Clean Easy for years and years and years and years and years, but that's them just appearing now in the health and beauty catalogue in Viva. And I can honestly tell you that they're flying out the door up here, but I bet it's the same for you guys.
Yeah, I never knew there was so many people who had so many sore feet.
Sore feet, yep.
And you know something else? Those bunion protectors are useless if you've got big bunions. They're only good if you've got titsy wee ones. And a question before we go on to Nextdoor, because Jeff, you use Nextdoor, don't you?
From time to time, I'm not very consistent on it. I get flooded with emails about people losing cats and all kinds of things. So
you need to have a dedicated email address, Jeff, that you never check. And
right.
I had to do that for exactly that reason. It was doing my head in.
Yeah.
And there's people that come on every day just to tell jokes, and really.
I did. Believe it or not, I heard an article, a discussion, believe it or not, on the radio, on Radio 2, about during lockdown, how some people who were in the village next door, well, in the Nextdoor group for the village, were complaining because it was just a chat.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, put off your notifications then.
Yep.
You know, sorry, is there something not really logical about that? But who does use Nextdoor?
I do.
Right. Jeff?
Not as much as I should. That's something else I need to spend more time on.
Okay.
I saw Nigel and Amanda's hands up there too.
I was going to say, I'm sure I heard Nigel saying he was using Nextdoor.
I put my first advert on there last week.
Did you, Angela? Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. How, well, since you're a new person, give us your view of how easy it was to join, how easy it was to place, you know, to put it on. How did you find it?
I'm not new to Nextdoor. I've been on it for a while.
Okay.
Which has enabled me to find my feet and work out what's what on there.
Okay.
And like you know, I just turn off the notifications if it's an ongoing post that won't shut up at my emails. And I haven't had a response to that advert yet, but it's out there.
Yes, that's right. Do
And
you
I-
advertise on Nextdoor at full price?
Sorry?
Yes.
Do you advertise the product you're selling on Nextdoor sites at full price?
I did, yeah. I
Yeah,
put full
good.
price, and I think I put the cost of postage as well.
Okay.
Um,
And do they ever try to, as Kate was talking about on Vinted, do they try to negotiate with you?
well, I haven't had a response yet, so I
All
don't know.
right, sorry, I beg your pardon. I
They
didn't listen
do,
properly.
in my experience, they do sometimes.
Do they?
On I'm treating Vinted completely differently to Nextdoor. Nextdoor I treat exactly the same way as Facebook.
Right.
If somebody says to me, would you sell this for whatever price, and they're trying to knock it down a bit, I would normally just go back to them and say, thanks very much for asking. Everything I sell is brand new in its original packaging. I'm sorry I can't drop the price. And then have a chat with them and stuff like that, see where they're coming from. And if they're local, obviously they can come and pick it up. So I don't mention the cost of postage in any of my adverts. I just say that postage is available, because my next door area is huge. I've my next door area, Jane, you know where I am. My next door area covers Erskine, Clydebank. It's just because I think because the number of members in my core area is comparatively small, it's just cast its net really wide. So it's Paisley, Erskine, you know, Kilmarnock even as well.
Really?
So it's it's, I mean, it's huge area. So I do that because I think Nextdoor was set up essentially to be actually for neighbours within the same rough postcode area, but for me it isn't. It's way spread out, and I've sold a lot on Nextdoor. I've got a lot of products posted all the time. I renew them as soon as they expire. I add more every day, every couple of days at least. And I've got lots of stuff on there. So
how long do the ads sit on there then, Kate?
Well, I think you can renew them every 30 days.
Right, okay.
You do get notification. You can go onto your listings if you've switched off your notifications. You can go onto your listings and see, you know, this expires in 3 days, this expires in 5 days, but then it moves over to your expired file. Really, you can pull it back out of the expired file at any time and relist it.
Put it back up.
But it does notify you, and you can then renew your advert for another 30 days.
Okay.
So the trick, as with Marketplace, I think, is just to have as many products listed there as you can, and always have a presence there, and people will get used to seeing you post.
And do you drop ship, or do you order them then and they collect them?
A mixture, really. If they're very local, I would invite them to come and collect. But I think with the cost of fuel now, I'm sort of more inclined to encourage dropship, really, because I don't want to be driving around looking for houses. You know, I did the other day. I delivered one at the furthest away point of East Kilbride the other day, and when I got to the house, it turned out it was somebody I knew that used to work in the Clydesdale Bank. So, but in general, I'm either wanting them to come and collect from me, or preferably dropship, because you can always get the payment for a, you know.
Yeah.
So that's my preferred. I don't really want to be driving, you know, 5 miles each way to deliver a egg poacher, really.
Yeah.
I do for my catalogue customers, and some of them live a good bit further away than that. But for online, if they're not going to come and pick up, I prefer to send it out. Yep.
Jeff, I know you said you weren't consistent, but how do you find it in ease of putting ads on?
Yeah, not too bad at all. But I've never had a response. So, you know, it's a bit like blanket dropping, and you get no response whatsoever, lose catalogue and everything. You kind of think, do I really want to be doing this in this area? And I'm having the same problem with Facebook. I go on Marketplace, and I look at my Marketplace ads, and no one's looked at it. And you kind of think, why am I bothering to do this?
Okay, are you scheduling a lot of your ads? Because I know, well, for example, I mean, I'm admin on some group. Now there's a thing. Can we talk about something a wee bit different? See in local groups or groups that you want to that you want to use, and they don't all have to have thousands of members. You know, target groups sound about maybe even the 5,000 membership.
Yeah,
they're not too big, but it'll grow. But
Yeah.
what I was going to say was, why don't you approach their admin and ask them if they would be prepared to accept you, or if they would allow you to help with the admin duties on the group.
Mhm.
That allows you to put ads in with, and you know, then you're going to have a core of groups that you could consistently put ads into, not spam them, obviously, but consistently put ads into them, building up a reputation in that group as a known name. It would maybe give your ads more visibility because it'd be coming up as admin. Maybe not, but I don't know. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, okay. Well, we're admin of one or two groups still in Kent, so we'll try that and see. But I've had conspicuous little success in Facebook. Perhaps I'm not approaching it correctly, but it seems to be a great deal of effort for very little reward in my case.
Jeff?
Yeah, Angela.
I was having a conversation with somebody yesterday, similar to this, and saying about, and they pointed out to me that it's like you're sowing seeds now, and it's giving you the opportunity to reap from those seeds at a later date, further down the line.
Okay.
And I was able to give an example of that, where I put out on a Facebook marketplace, I put out an advert with, I think it had 10 bed sets on it, and months and months later, I kept renewing it on when you're allowed to renew it on Facebook, and months later, I got an order for a king size of one of the more expensive ones.
Oh, good.
So that encouraged me to keep going, to see it, to view it like that. That we're at the moment, we're in the sowing period, but it gives you the opportunity to be able to reap in the future.
I'm gonna have to go, guys.
Good to see you, Joe. Good night.
Bye, Joe.
Good night.
Good night.
Mary, can I quickly? Mary, will you talk to us?
What's up, Jane?
The reason I'm asking, Mary, is because Kate mentioned earlier, Mary sometimes sells products for our customers. Tell us a wee bit about whether you sell them immediately or whether it's a wee while down the line as well.
Well, it all depends what the product is. When Clean Easy first went, and I went to a lady's house and I sold the product she was selling, like the best one was a cement mixer. That I could have sold 10 times over. But all her stuff went really quick. She was just going to give it away, and I said to her, no, don't, we'll sell it. I'll put it on my Facebook page. And the woman made 600 quid. She was absolutely astounded.
My goodness.
Wow.
What she was selling.
But you also brought lots of people into your group from that activity as well.
It was great. I grew my group marvelously, because in that period of Clean Easy going down and Viva coming up, I lost my account for 6 months.
So you did.
So I was really starting again. I had to start from scratch. I couldn't get into it. I was banned and I lost it, lost everything. So it was a great way of getting people in. And I've got a customer saying, oh, I've got this to sell, can you sell it? And well, I'll put it on my page, and if it sells, it sells. Yeah, great. Doesn't always sell immediately. I mean, I've got wool for somebody, I'm selling wool and all sorts. I've
You
got,
sold, did you sell 2 lampposts?
Yes, there was 2 lampposts went for that the same woman who was selling the cement mixer. And there was a piano, and that went as well. So yeah, she was absolutely over the moon. And at the minute I've got a set of golf clubs and a guitar. And yeah,
And do
and
you
the same
put them
herself.
on Marketplace, Mary, or
I
just
put them
in your
everywhere,
own
Jane.
group?
I put them on my page. I put them on Marketplace. I put them in local groups. Yeah.
Here's
everywhere.
here's one of Mary's secrets. Every single time somebody likes a post of Mary's or comments or reacts in any way, Mary will put a comment on thanking them for their like or whatever and mentioning the name of her group. And Mary's group, your group's grown massively, hasn't it? Just as a result.
Yeah.
She's interacting with everybody, and it's lovely to watch because it's so consistent. And I go through every time I see one of my team or one of you guys posts coming up anywhere, I always pop a wee like on or whatever, and I know within 5 seconds that Mary's going to thank me for that like. And you know, it's just second nature, isn't it?
Aye.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yep.
So there's a wee bit of maybe reassurance for you, Jeff, and for others, because Mary used the word and it was consistent. So, or Kate used it, Mary's consistent.
But also, Jane, when you repost your products again, it's amazing how many people haven't seen it first time round.
That's right.
Same as when you're putting the catalogues out. People don't read it all the time.
No.
And then they'll say something the next time, or like a lot of my customers say, have you got that? No, sorry, it's sold out. Yep. But then I'll hunt for it and find it for them.
Yeah.
So yeah, it doesn't always happen immediately. And I can curse some of my customers for the simple reason that they leave it. Sorry?
How often do you repost them? Do you wait till you renew them, or do you just put them back up again?
I put them back up again every couple of weeks.
Aye.
And I just go down my group and have a look at the date and think, right, okay, that's had a couple of weeks, so I'll repost it and delete that post and then just post it.
Okay. Okay.
And then as I say, it really is amazing how many people do not see it the first time round.
That's right. Yeah.
Well,
so
and there's
fresh.
another. Sorry, and I'll tell a story about me. We had a high table, like a bar table, with 2 really lovely high chairs, which we had in our previous house and we had here. And then we got a more conventional table and chairs. And it was in immaculate condition. But the chairs were, and I can't remember the name of them, but they were a named chair, and it was raffia. Really good quality. And I put them up, and I remember someone saying to me, who shall be nameless, you'll not get that for them. You'll be lucky if you get £50. I was asking for 200 for a high table and 2 chairs. And I thought, well, I'll put it up. If I sell them, I sell them. If I don't, I'll keep them. I put it up and I put it onto Marketplace and I reviewed it. But unlike Mary, I didn't do it terribly consistently. And 3 months later, I got a message saying, have you still got that table and chairs? Would you accept 190 for it?
Wow.
So, I know. And that wasn't cheap for a table and 2 chairs.
No.
So keep going, Jeff. Don't get despondent, because like you, I can feel like you feel. I promise you.
Oh, I do as well. I
can feel like that. So can Mary. Mary moans about it as well. I've heard her.
But you see, but the thing is, it's the same when you go out your catalogues. I mean, I don't know about other people, but I go out and I pick up a catalogue, go no order, I went, oh, blooming neck. Get the next one, no order. I'm going, oh, for goodness, what am I doing this for? And then I maybe get to a 4th or 5th one and I get an order. I think, there we go, that's the start. Next one, yeah, I've got an order. Next one, the order. Well, I've got 2, right, okay. And that's it. Well, I'm like, around all my customer bases, I'm the same every month, every time I do them. It's the same. And I think I've got to really know that they'll keep me going, because they do. But I just get so when I don't get an order. It
Yes.
riles me, but the orders are there.
But you've got a really good rapport with your customers as well, Mary.
Oh, aye.
You love, it probably takes you forever and a day getting round with your deliveries because everybody's chatting at the doors.
Absolutely.
Okay, can I give you one tip? If you've got any Christmas catalogues, don't take them out your packs, because I've sold about £70 worth of Christmas stuff this week.
You're
Really?
joking.
No, I had I delivered an order today, £38 worth of Christmas stuff, including one of those wraparound garlands. She bought Santa sacks, she bought Christmas cards, she bought stickers, she bought gift tags, and she bought a garland. And somebody else bought Christmas cards and Pull My Cracker socks, Christmas socks in May. Go figure. So if you've still got your Christmas books in, if you've still got them in the house, put them back in your packs, because people are starting already for Christmas.
Aye.
No, I've thrown them all out.
So the next big events are Father's Day. So hunt through your catalogues and come up.
What day?
Is usually
It's the 19th of June.
19th of June. Yeah, it's usually.
Okay.
I know, it's around my birthday.
And then there'll be teachers' gifts. Now, teachers' gifts, the makeup mystery packs would be great for that. If you had a couple of kids with different teachers, and you could make them up into little gift packs with a nail polish and a buffer or something like that. Or, you know, there's more than you might think in our catalogue for men as well, including personalised stuff, because there's the pint glasses and the, you know, people are always looking for, and the skull glasses. The skull glasses for some reason are massively popular.
Can I throw something into the mix here?
Of course.
I think in the personalised catalogues, it's actually detrimental putting information on the product to give us a photograph, because then people think that's all they can do. Now that we can do so much with our products, it almost would be worthwhile if there was another way that the catalogue could describe. So I will leave that thought with you.
Well, when I put my personalised ads on my group, I always say, ask me what personalisation you want, and if we can do it, we will.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we
so
can't
do
do that with our catalogue customers.
That's right. Well, yeah.
Unless we're chatting to them.
I think some of the items do have a restriction on characters, but only roughly. I mean, you know, if you speak to Charlotte, she can generally do what you like and just make the font a bit smaller or something.
Yeah.
Some people have had some real crackers of. I mean, those slates, when they were originally in the first personalised catalogue, they didn't have anything like the potential they've got now, and now they've got nothing. You know, the little that, you know, like Jeff's Jubilee ones, and I had a wedding one done, and Louise had a couple of baby ones done, and everything like that, and they're so nice. They're just lovely. And me with my tree on my bottle. And
actually, that slate, if I can interrupt, that slate, when you put it in, it's only got one line available for surname. Yeah. And so I asked Charlotte, what do you do? She just said, type in their email. And
that's right. Yep.
But if you look at it, you think, oh,
that's right.
It's only got one line.
There's a box to put. There's a box to say that you're sending an email with it. Yep.
That's why I suppose I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely, Jane.
It's almost detrimental.
Yeah.
You know, putting that type of thing in, because it perhaps doesn't stimulate the interest.
Yeah.
And maybe it's time we said, you know. In fact, have we just had a new personalisation catalogue?
Yeah, we have, and
haven't we?
I think I might be wrong about this, but I think that there's something in the blurb on the inside of the front cover that says, if you've got any special requests, will always be considered, or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What I was thinking of doing recently was, because Charlotte puts so many pictures in the group for us
Yeah.
that when I advertise a product, that I would put 2 or 3.
Yeah,
of
put more than
those
one. Yep,
and
for
Yeah.
sure.
say
Yeah.
examples of special requests.
Yeah,
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 I haven't done it
Yeah.
yet, but it's what I was thinking
yeah.
of.
yeah. No, that really helps, because some of the glasses and things like that, you can either have a name on them, or you can have an initial on them, or and I
Yeah.
think Lynn, I never post. I should have taken a picture of it at least, but remember that the smoked glass vase that Lynn got done for her daughter,
Yeah,
Jane,
it
that
was
was really
lovely.
beautiful, and it was a very personal message on it,
It
and
was.
Lindsay absolutely loved it, but I didn't post it at the time because Lindsay hadn't received it yet,
No,
kind of thing.
well,
So I don't think I even took a picture of it, but Lynn will have
No.
one we can ask her.
I didn't either, Kate, because I felt it was an intrusion almost.
Yeah. Yep.
So I didn't, but it had a really personal message on it. It was
Uh-huh.
there was far more words in it
Than it says you can have.
yes,
Yep.
yes.
Yep.
But time, folks, we're now 10 minutes over.
Mhm.
And all I'm going to say is thanks very much to everybody for your input tonight.
Yep. Good to
I
hear
hope-
everybody chatting.
Yeah. You know,
I
this
can
is
now
how...
go to bed, Jane.
You can go to bed. Thanks for staying up,
Well,
Mary.
Mary's down south with the wee man this week.
I went out. It's an area I've never been in before, right? And I've got to walk 2 dogs. So I went out this morning, and one of the dogs led the way, which was fine. She knew where she was going. However, we ended up somewhere where I have no idea where the heck we were. And 9 mile later, we got home.
That dog's no fool,
I
Mary.
can guarantee she's not getting that walk again tomorrow, because I
How
still have
far
to take the wee
down
boy
south are
to school
you,
and pick him
Mary?
back up. My
Mary,
daughter says, "Where did you go?" I went, "I've got no idea."
how far down
So-
south are you, Mary?
I'm at near Newcastle.
Oh, okay.
Has your daughter moved?
Yes. She used to live in Bedlington, which I knew really well,
Uh-huh.
but she's moved to Wall's End,
hmm
and I've got no idea what's around here.
Well, come the end of
And
the
she-
week, you'll know it like the back of your hand.
Oh, she says to my mum, "Where were you?" I says, "I was in Holy Cross." She went, "What?" I said, "I was in." She says,
Just
"What on
ask
earth
the
are you doing
dog.
there?" I went, "Didn't ask me, ask the dog."
The dog took you on a mystery tour.
Absolutely, Angela. So, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
if it's any consolation, when I moved through this area, there was a man in the street, and I said to him, and the local accents, you think Scottish people have local accents? My goodness, this Scottish person I stopped, I hadn't a clue what he said. And I said, I know it's maybe an unusual thing for me to say, but where am I? He kind of looked at me, and I think because I was very polite, he didn't want to say too much. He says, "You're in Pathid."
I've heard.
I said, "Sorry, where am I?" And he said, "Pathid." I thought, I still don't know where I am. I said, and he looked at me, and it must have been the face. He says, "Path Head." Oh, I said, "Is that where I am?" So there you are, just knocking somebody's door, Mary, and say, "Where am I? Where am I? How do I get back?" Anyway.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Yeah, thanks.
And we'll-
Yeah.
Another great week
Yep.
for a webinar. Thank you very much.
Yep. Have a great week, everybody, and we'll see you
Yeah.
all soon.
Okay,
Just stop this
bye.
record.
Thanks
Bye.
again. Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.